And here we are. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to Sketchy Saturdays with your hosts, Mike, Jimmy, and MarV.
Hey,
This is new to us, so
yeah,
I'm not used to being a host. MarV is not used to being a host, so this is going to be a shit show you wouldn't believe. We do not care about swearing. However,
yeah.
it's only 10 a.m. for those Americans, and it's 4 p.m. for me, and I have been up since 6 a.m. I've been working, and this is my break. So, Marv, what have you been doing the last week?
Well, I've been, trying to learn as much as I can about comics, writing, everything related to pacing. Uh, I've saw some very cool videos on YouTube and keep
Ooh.
updated on the actual bullshit yeah, that's a kind of stand-up comedy that I like
Oh
to
yeah.
that I
Oh
like to
yeah.
see. So yeah, I had lots of fun lately. I'm working on a new IP that I'm creating right now, also, and yeah, too much ideas. They only have 24 hours, and yeah, too much ideas. A whole universe behind the scene killer, and the
Mm-hmm.
city that he lives, Devil Kid City, and yeah, I'm creating new stuff, but man, I need to clone myself. At least five new guys to be here in the studio. So yeah, it's been fun.
Well, personally, I haven't done anything last week because of trains completely killing my schedule. Like the entire train system for the Netherlands broke down, and we didn't get anything done. So I was only home on Monday instead of Saturday afternoon. And then my side job decided, yeah, let's schedule you for the rest of the week. So here we are today. I
So
woke up at 6 this morning and I literally just got to work. I was busy. So I ordered La Foncora 5 this morning, so that is coming next week. You can expect some unboxing at next week's Sketchy Saturdays. But with that said, let's pull in our guests and run the intro. There we go. Good morning.
Morning.
Hopping in right in time. How's it going?
All right. Not quite awake yet, but it's all good.
Yeah,
Lenny, how are you,
that
man?
makes four of us. Don't
Free
worry.
coffee. So it's all good.
Yeah.
What are we working on this morning?
I have La Foncora 6. MarV is working on. You tell us.
Page one. I'm inking page one of Gabriel Reaper of Souls. The book is almost done, but I got to do some inking, traditional inking for the campaign. So yeah, I want to see some pages in the next one.
Sweet. What are you working on, Peter? Well, it looks like Batman.
Yeah, I'm just doing a sketch of Batman. I couldn't think of anything. Um,
Yeah.
I, pretty much starting my birthday with you guys. I've been answering 100 messages already, so
Oh
that's
my
what I've
god.
been up to.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't have a camera to point at my art, so
That's alright. The point is just, get some work done. You can pull it
Yeah.
out once in a while.
So
get
let's our
get
guests
some.
to introduce themselves, right?
Yeah.
Should introduce yourselves first if you haven't already.
Well, we
Ah, yeah,
have.
we have.
So
Yeah, we have.
it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
up to you guys now.
Fine. Peter, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Or not.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
I...
been working
Ah.
since 1991 for 30 years, mostly as an anchor.
Oh, that's the wrong
Now
one.
I'm diving into working on my own book, Retro, and I got way too much going on. Working on a graphic novel designated, finished Wall anthology story, doing a bunch of covers for an anthology called American Alchemist, working with my friend Randy Bishop on his book, Hawk of New York. And Allison Loughran is in the chat, and we'll be doing a book together called Nightmare. So much stuff. Too much stuff.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Mhm.
Randy, how about yourself?
Hey, everybody.
I
I'm
am-
Randy Zimmerman, and I've been around for decades as well. Started in the mid 80s doing stuff for Arrow Comics, then did stuff for Antarctic and Caliber and anybody that would have me. And other than that, been doing Arrow off and on. Ran Arrow for quite a while in the 90s, did my own newspaper for about 10 years where I had all sorts of cartoons and articles in it that we gave away locally here around the Flint, Michigan area. Other than that, just been doing a lot of commercial work lately, especially.
Well, it keeps you busy, that's for sure.
And it helps pay the bills, is what it does.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, that's what we're looking at. It's paying the bills. Just had a 2-page spread advertisement put in our local My City magazine.
Ooh.
If anybody is listening in the local area, it's like it's a magazine about Flint and the surrounding area, and I did a real estate ad for them some time ago that I just went through and refashioned for a 2-page spread. So
Cool.
Yeah.
other than that, I have the Photoshop available. I am old school when it comes to this kind of stuff. So,
Well, to be honest,
see.
Photoshop is great.
oh, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I'm one of those people that if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of guys. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who still use Photoshop 6 because they don't have to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
And yeah, just don't have to worry all that much. So how is your graphic novel coming along for your experiences?
Well, I have it on my other system here. That's what I wanted to do a drawing from today. I've got the cover. Let me blow myself up here.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Boom. I hope I can swing this around the camera and you can see it. You probably can't on that screen. It looks all white. You can barely see the title.
Yeah.
It's My Life Under the Protocols with COVID. That's the working title.
Mhm.
Really cool, dude. I'm looking forward to that
Yeah.
one. That's going to be
Yeah.
something very, very
I
interesting.
can't wait to get it out. Seriously. So,
When do you have a date in mind, Randy?
I'm probably going to start a sign-up sheet, depending on how fast I can get through the current mountain of commercial artwork that I'm in the middle of right now. I got a bunch of T-shirts and some vinyl signs that I'm cutting. Hopefully, if I can get through that in good order by the end of this month, I'm hoping to start a sign-up sheet. I'd like to have the book out by, I would say, August at the latest.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I still have a bunch of sequentials that I want to do for it because I dreamed really lucid dreams and I want to put them in there. It's heavily drugged there for a while. while I was on my stomach for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wasn't on this plane, that's for sure. So. Weird times. Something I wouldn't want anybody to ever go through, you know?
Oh, no, definitely not. But I'm really glad you're still here.
Yeah, me too.
we weren't done yet.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I was thinking of making a T-shirt saying that. It says I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Feel free to call yourself.
Everybody is stunned. You know, you survived. Oh my goodness! You know, I had the doctor come by and tell me he thought I was gone twice, and they had given me the last-minute drugs twice, and I pulled through on both times, and they were stunned and all of this, and everybody goes, "So you must have been back for a reason." I think I was back to do more comics. That's what it is.
That's a great reason. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that's one of the best reasons I can think of. Because
yeah, of course.
There's always more stories to tell, and you got plenty in your head.
Oh yeah, always more stories to tell.
So Peter, what is your schedule today? Party with some friends, family?
I'm doing a show with you guys. Then take a lunch break, and I'll be streaming on my channel at 2:00. Just probably for a couple hours, just stream. Anybody wants to show up, and I'll have people come on and just chit chat. And then tonight, more than likely, I'm just hang out with friends in town. I'm out in Kentucky for those that don't know. Small, and nice, relaxing hangout. Like back in the day, I'm originally from New York. I used to have 3 or 4 gatherings of, many different friends, and like might go on for a week. Here, it's like short and sweet.
Yeah.
Personally, I like short and sweet a lot more as well, so don't worry about that. Just quiet. Yeah. I'm getting too old for this, and I'm only probably half you guys' age.
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody, once you get that first book, once you hold that first book in your hands, that's it. You decide right then and there if you're going to be doing this the rest of your life and die at the board.
Ooh,
that's the way it works.
Yeah, that's very true, man. I start with me. Everything starts with Jeff Lafferty. I was, trying to find myself in the art community, fine art, and I just was lost. And one day I found out about Jeff, and I started following him, and I saw his comic, The Berserker come to life. And I didn't know anything about indie comics, self-publishing, crowdfunding, Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And that opened my eyes so much that I really wanted to make a comic after I saw him getting the books, showing everybody what he was doing for 100 days with that challenge for 100 days of making comics. And man, that put me that bug in my brain. And yeah, thanks to him, I was inspired to do this. And then man, that the feeling of having the book done, the stress of having a campaign to make with no idea about how to do it,
Oh yeah.
Man, that was a fantastic experience. And as you can see from here, the Berserker is right in front of me, reminding me that this is possible, and this is possible to make a comic. You don't make a comic if you don't want to. It's not. I would love to make a comic. I would like to make a comic. No, just do it. because you
Do
don't
you
have any
or
excuses.
don't?
You don't have any excuses not to do it. So yeah, do it.
Well, apparently a kid on the playground behind my house decided to have a gigantic smack because I can hear her crying through the window. Closed window. Oh, dear Lord. Poor thing.
Neighborhoods are
I have
wonderful
a
places.
question. I have a question for our guests. What make you want to do comics?
No, good one.
Peter, no,
I guess I'll go.
go.
Yeah. It's like I grew up reading comics, reading newspaper strips originally, then like finding comics in our local barber shop. And my father took and Jimmy. If anybody doesn't know, Jimmy Palmieri's mother. Me and Jimmy to like our first couple of comic conventions back in when we were really young. And we started collecting them. Eventually, a local comic shop opened near us, so we had easy access at that point. And I was drawing all my life, and I went to art school, high school of art and design, then college for a couple of years in Brooklyn. But I had a 9-to-5 job. I was just like a messenger, and then I worked my way into working in the mailroom, running a mailroom, and I looked at art and comics as something too precious to me. But when I was younger, and I didn't know if I would dive into it. But one day, my brother called me up, and he was helping out Mark Texiera. Mark was doing Go at the time, and Mark's writing schedule on his book. He's done tomorrow. Would you, want to make a couple extra bucks and come help out? Sure, definitely. So we went up into the Marvel offices after hours. So it was just like minutes after 5 o'clock. Nobody was there. This was back in the day before security and anything. And it was just us. It was me, Jimmy, Mark, Ken Branch, and one other guy, and myself. And I was just filling in black. Jimmy was ink background, was ink backgrounds and blacks himself. And Mark was like penciling and inking pages. It was crazy because he was like drinking coffee, eating donuts, and just tossing all around. And we were working in the Marvel offices, and I was looking around, and 10 minutes being in there, I was like, I want to do comics for a living. That's all it took.
That's when it hooked you. Yeah.
That's cool.
How about yourself, Randy? Yeah.
For me, I was raised in a very restrictive religion. So comics were my lifeline to sanity, literally. And had real rough, I shouldn't say rough upbringing, but it was a very strict upbringing. They wouldn't let me have superhero comics to start with. So of course I had to have superhero comics. So I went and learned everything that I could about the business and the market that I could pull from my local library and all of the characters, and ran across a couple of the big hardbound books like Les Daniels' History of Comics in America and Jewel Pfeiffer's Great Comic Book Heroes, the hardback books, anything that I could read at the library, I read on my way home from school. Then I started reading all of the other comics except for the ones that the parents wouldn't let me have. And that included Twilight Zone until my parents saw one of the digests where they had a story of a guy who had made a pact with the devil. So they said they'd rather have me reading those violent superhero comics, and this was back in the 70s, when those superhero comics were really violent, right? Anyway, they'd rather have me reading those violent superhero comics than reading that satanic stuff. So if I threw the Twilight Zone Digest into the fire, I could buy superhero books. So the Twilight Zone Digest went into the fire, and I started buying superhero books.
Wow.
So, and then from there, when I was, I had always had a love for drawing. My uncle gave me a book on how to cartoon Woody Woodpecker, if you know who that character is.
Oh yeah,
Woody Woodpecker and Buzz Buzzard and all of that. Great book. You still find it on eBay every once in a while, called Easy Way to Draw and How to Break Stuff Down into Basic Shapes. So that's what I did. So during high school, I had 2 years of instruction at a local skill center in commercial art and learned all of the tools that nobody uses anymore, thanks to wonderful Photoshop. So I was a master at rubylith and amberlith separations. Back before you could hit 2 buttons on Photoshop and just put everything on 2 layers and have it done. So, but I was really good at it. I ended up getting a job at the local T-shirt shop being their art department. After a while, decided to put me on the payroll after he figured it would save him money, because he kept calling me for different pictures, because you can't find clip art of specific things. You call the local cartoonist dude to draw the Vikings sitting on the cue ball with a mug of beer in one hand and a cue stick in the other for the local bar, to make shirts with. So he ended up putting me on the payroll, and I got into independent comics while I was doing commercial work. So started out in the back of Journey, Bill Mesner-Loeb's Journey comic from Aardvark Vanaheim, and just started freelancing from there. Got involved with Arrow Comics and just kept doing independent stuff. My heart's always been in the independent and alternative market because of the freedom of expression and the fact that you can do your own stuff. So there's not a whole lot of editors out there that I have appreciation for, especially lately.
Oh dear Lord!
So,
did you see the new She-Hulk?
I'm afraid I haven't. I know they were changing her to make her look ugly.
There was one page where you literally see a copy paste of her face 4 times in a row. And that's the only thing I saw of it, because it was on Twitter, but it just made me cringe. Oh my god.
A lot of the modern books make you cringe, but there's always been shortcuts like that. I mean, there's always been photocopies, and was it Wally Wood said, don't draw what you can't paste? I think something like that.
I agree. You gotta have your shortcuts. You're on a deadline. That's fine. However, it's a whole different story when every single panel has the main character looking straight forward and both eyes looking different directions.
Great.
Yeah, so that's on Superman.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to tell you there, except that I don't have a lot of appreciation for modern editors.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh my god.
I stopped about 2003 when I pitched something to Marvel, and the editor looked me straight in the eye and said, "Do we own this character?" I said, "Okay, we're done."
Mm-hmm.
We were done. I was done pitching anything after that. It's like, all right, I know more than you do, so why are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm paid to lead, not to read.
And then
still one of my favorites.
I think that's the intimidation factor is why they channel so many of these great artists out right at their prime.
Mm-hmm.
You have Walt Simonson saying how he can't find good work anymore. Walt Simonson's amazing. So he ought to be getting he ought to have a workload in comics that would stagger the mind. And he's saying he can't get work because people consider his style to be too nostalgic. That's just stupid.
Yeah, like
I think that modern editors are intimidated by people that have been in the business for a while. Well, like I said, I got fed up with that editor because the character was a big favorite of mine. I wanted to do a lot more with him. And granted, you know, it was a one shot, so he was in a one shot Marvel preview, I think preview or premiere, one of the other.
mm-hmm.
But it was a great pulp old space cowboy character that Howard Chaykin had created.
Ooh.
And he's like, "Do we even own this character?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay,
Yes.
yeah."
Yep. That's when you just take a 180 turn and walk out the door.
Yep. They ended up messing him up in a Guardians book later on when somebody ran across him somewhere and said, "Hey, this is another great character we can screw with."
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's the trend right now. That's the trend,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you
I
know
worked
what
for
else is
Marvel
new?
and
Well,
DC
welcome
back in
to
the
Marvel.
day, and
Yeah.
really, yeah, they both lost their way years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just keeps getting worse. It seems,
It really does.
which is sad because you
Mhm.
can still go back on those old books and just love them. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
got their favorites. Everybody's got their favorite lines. You don't hear a whole lot of kids nowadays saying
Yeah.
that, unless it's a manga
And,
or a. I'll tell you,
Mhm.
Dogman.
No, it's about the movies and TV shows.
Yep.
I don't know. Dogman's pretty hot right now. I got a granddaughter that just absolutely loves Dogman.
Huh.
And that's
I
a
know something like that.
Scholastic graphic novel. Looks like the guy spends maybe an hour on a page. It just it looks like it's meant to look like it's drawn by a junior high or a elementary school kid. And the books are actually a lot of fun to read.
That's like,
Yeah, because art isn't everything. You know,
Well, that's the big. I
Sometimes-
used to.
yeah.
I'm sorry to cut in, but I used to teach
Yeah.
cartooning after school, and that was always the big thing. The kids would go, "All I can draw are stick figures." It's like, well, all you need to do is tell a story.
yeah.
Take them
Exactly.
stick figures and have them say something.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. You know, it's actually very liberating to not have to worry about the art quality. Just
Yep.
make a random story. It's one of the most fun things you can do in art.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. I
So
have
who do we
no
have
idea
in
what to do
chat?
for this panel.
Who do
We
in
have-
the chat?
We have
I
a
don't
lot
have
of
access
people
to
talking.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have quite a few people. Salazar Art Nation, who sadly had to miss it because he's in a conference right now. Aww. Of course, there's Nita. Being herself and bring on the nerds with markers. We got Area Black, who did a variant cover for Love on Quarter 5 and does the amazing series The Adventures of Talus in Outer Space. And that is a mouthful, and I love it. We have Alison McClone, who is doing a book together with Peter. So really have to see you around. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're just having a nice, relaxed conversation. And we have your wife, MarV, Linda. How are you doing, sweetheart?
Hey, baby.
Mike Jimmy, I never knew you were married. Awesome.
No, it's MarV's wife, not mine.
Oh, sorry, Marvy. Yeah, okay.
No problemo.
We got Glenn, another awesome traditional artist,
Yeah, it's gotta be on
who's
the
drawing
surface.
hats right now. Yeah, no, this is exactly the kind of stream you want for that. Just have something rolling in the background and just talk about it. And apparently he doesn't. He accidentally did T and the N, so he said Tina instead of Nita. We got Nicholas Tuckard from Nerd Bacon. Always a pleasure, dude. Hopefully seeing you on Thursday again.
Well,
And just hopped in, Sarah. Good morning.
It's a
Let's see. Back to the box.
morning.
How am I supposed to draw this writer?
Takes too much time, traditional. So, oh my god, I forgot how long this might take. Oh boy,
How am I
I
supposed
forgot totally.
How am I supposed to put this kind of script into a panel? I don't know.
The artist's dilemma, especially from the overzealous writer. Yes.
I'm just glad it's only one action in the description. Like for Lavancore 4, she would do like 4 or 5 actions in a single panel, usually by one character, to which I had to go, no. But she makes wonderful stories, nothing on that. It's just, one of those things where I go, oh my god, my writers are enthusiastic. Dear Lord, my writers are enthusiastic. And we're looking at a self-portrait here. Yes, we are. I wish I was in bed right now.
Hey,
Yeah, well, after you spend as much time as I have in bed, you'll think twice about that one.
I believe that one, yeah.
My sleep schedule still hasn't recovered. So
so
I still
that's
sleep in about 2 to 3 hour spurts anymore.
Oh, dear Lord. I'd go mad.
No, I'm not complaining, but that's just the way it is. Before, when I was in the hospital and nursing home, they were waking me up about every hour and a half to take vitals there for a while.
Oh.
Till they realized I leveled out, so they stopped bothering me at night. I still couldn't get any decent sleep or any long sleep, put it that way.
That is awful.
So you're not in any kind of medication right now to balance your sleeping schedule.
Say what?
You're not on any meds right now to balance your
No.
sleeping schedule. No.
No, thankfully, the only meds that I'm really on outside of regular vitamin. Well, actually, I just got a couple of inhalers because I've still got stuff clogging up my sinuses and my lungs a little bit. But they gave me a small light blood thinner to keep me from clotting, which I think I'm going to end up being able to be off of here pretty quick. But thankfully, they haven't. I haven't asked them for anything to sleep because I haven't been feeling like I need it.
Good. As long as the
Try to stay off drugs as much as prescription drugs as much as possible.
Yeah.
Especially after what I went through, because they were tube feeding me all sorts of stuff. So there was a while there that while I was under, I was dreaming pretty heavily. I went a lot of places and never left my bed in Flint. Put it that way. I had a lot of stuff happen.
I remember you saying, like, what do you mean I didn't get any competition?
Yeah, I thought I had won a Survivor competition. Asked the wife to check the bank account. And because I knew I had $250,000 in there because I was buried alive for a while and was the last one to make it. But it's funny what your brain does when because I was down on a respirator for 6 weeks. I guess went a lot of places, did a lot of things, didn't move much. So pretty crazy.
The downside of penciling traditionally is that I actually really like where I'm going with this panel. but I can't zoom it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna pull it up when I scan it. The downsides of a broken pen display, people.
So, Peter, what are your plans for retro right now? Do you have any?
Well, I got a tight deadline with the graphic novel I'm working on. I got to get that done the end of next month. So that's most of my concern right now. Retro will be done after that, and probably in the fall I'll be doing Indiegogo crowdfunder for issue 1. So, because the initial Kickstarter was 5 days, and that was a year at this point. But issue 1 will be coming this year. Started prepping the page for Alice. Is going to be doing the flats on it. I'm going to be coloring it. Once I finalize the script, I'll get that to my letterer, and he can start on pages and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, the grind continues. Always.
Ever growing. Yeah.
Yeah, you still need to be a special kind of masochist to start on comics. You got to be a very, very interesting kind of masochist to keep doing it. Why are we doing it again?
Because we love it.
Yeah, no, that's the worst part.
It's a lot of work, but I love it.
Yeah. There we go. By the way, I only have 25 minutes left. Randy, if you like what we're doing and just want to keep on going for a little while longer, feel free to, because I know you have got powers too. But I have to be at the Red Valkyrie Underground Art Auction at 11 Eastern.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of signs I have to get
He's
cut.
too good for us. That's what he's saying.
No, I double booked myself. It was a complete derp.
Do you need me to hang around until 11? I can do that.
Oh no,
Until,
I'm gonna
until
be
noon?
here. I'm gonna be here until 11. No, we don't need to go much longer. It just depends on if you want to, if you're enjoying the show and just want to keep going. That's completely up to you.
You can always do another drawing. There's no big deal there. Like I said, I have a bunch of signs that I need to get cut for a client. Banners, couple banners. They're doing. I think that's done anyway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great. So, Randy, you have a campaign also on Kickstarter, the Fellowship of the
I
Indies?
do. The Fellowship of the Indies just kicked in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nine books, 7 creators, 1 failed deal. We have a lot of books published that we'd like to get out to folks so that they get to read them. Very proud of the book. Not happy at all with the way the deal went. So
Yeah, that is still idiotic. I got it for myself and a buddy of mine here in the Netherlands, since he's a gigantic comic fan as well. And I told him, yeah, you can get 9 books for $25. At which he dropped his jaw and went, "Give me."
yeah,
So we ordered it together to save shipping, and
Cool.
really looking forward to those titles, man.
yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
Oh, you won't believe the books when you see them. They're just incredibly well printed. That's the high point of this entire fiasco.
Yeah, no, the that's one of my the biggest things. Like it's yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this because I know how high quality stuff you actually were making, and it's going to be a good introduction to most of these people's books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and with the Fellowship of the Indies campaign, they're offering a PDF of, I think, and even hard copies of month 2 books. And I had two
Yeah,
number ones that I was going to start up there in month 2 that I'm especially proud of. One is a fantasy book called Calico. I'm looking for the file I'm supposed to put that in. One is a fantasy book called Calico that involves a young cat that in a magical world. And the other one is a superhero story called Paragon that I am really, really proud of.
yeah, I loved C. Michael's style on Calico. I was so looking forward to that one.
Oh, yeah, me too. The wife says it's the best thing I've ever written, and she's a very harsh critic of my work.
Ooh. Yeah, leave it to the wife to make sure you get the best stuff out there.
And she said, I have to. She said, I absolutely have to finish the story. So, oh, that looks really good on the small screen. Look at that. Huh, okay. Happy.
No, it looks great. Let's go and pull out the other guys again, though. You know,
There we
get
are.
some.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a delay here on my end, so
And it
10
happens.
seconds
No worries.
after I can see the stuff only 10 seconds after. Yeah, very cool.
I assure you, you've
Yeah,
been
Peter
cool.
joins his Batman too.
Yeah, with the graphic novel I'm working on, I'm actually putting it together on a different system than this, but I'm doing the spot illustrations for it here.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This is the first time I've seen you actually draw something.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm sorry for that, but
no, it's just yeah. I know you from podcasts. You know, I've seen some
Yeah.
of your art come around, but for the most part, you know, I've just seen you doing the managing job.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
yeah,
we
that's true.
we didn't have any proof that you were actually drawing. So
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
oh
Now we
yeah,
have-
of course.
Now we have a proof.
When
Now
you
we
get the
have.
Fellowship of the Indies books, when you get those in, you will know which book is mine because it's the cartooniest book there.
Yeah.
Hero but Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that I want to give that to my nephew. He's 6 years old. He's nearly bilingual, and it will just be making his day.
And I think it's safe for everybody in the family. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's meant to be a family friendly property.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about a young kid, Tippy Totek. It's the guy. It's the kid's name whose parents own Totek Tech, and he creates this robot in order to help his city because his city's being overrun by giant monsters and things. He goes to a program. Oh, there we are. The True Artist.
Mm-hmm. It was her all along.
All along. That's even her hand right there.
Yeah. No,
Great.
she's my worst
Smelling-
critic.
Smelling the board. Yes.
Fresh ink.
Yes.
No, she's my worst critic. If she doesn't like something, she will smudge.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need the wife. We just have the cat.
That used to be what the kids and the grandkids were for. So, but now
Yeah.
everything's digital, so they can't come out. They can put all all their fingers all over the board they want. You just hit Control Z and it disappears. Amazing. Anyway,
Yeah, Peter is a cat person too. He's got a couple of them, right, Peter?
Yeah, I get 3 cats and 2 Forsters at the moment. So
Nice.
it's a lot,
Yeah,
a lot of
I
cats.
need to get Shelby a buddy, but it's just not in my financial ability right now. Because she gets
We all
bored
know
when
how
I'm
that
away.
works. Yeah. Yep. Let's see.
But then it starts you down the road where you'll wind up with too many cats. It's like this, my buddy and the other buddy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, is there such a thing as too many cats? As long as the house is not dirty and you keep track of the litter boxes and they don't, mass breed, there is no such thing as too many cats. There's only
Yeah.
hoarding behavior.
Yep.
Yes, you want attention, I get it. You're on my lap already. What is your problem?
And I just did this. I can't believe I just did this. Oh my god.
So, Sarah says, I leave family-friendly comics in waiting rooms when I have any appointments. So, I would actually do the same with Love and Cora if I'm on a long train ride to a convention or to friends. I will usually put a copy of Love and Cora just in a mailer and leave it there, put comic inside on it, have a little sketch to go with it, and be like, yeah, this is for you, enjoy. And I actually had someone from Ireland who was taking along one of the sketches there, and I was like, oh my god, that's going far.
Yeah, part of the fun of
That's
doing
awesome.
the newspaper that I was doing is that it was family friendly. You could leave it everywhere. And I used to love walking into a bathroom in downtown Flint and see it slung over the handicap bar. Used to make my
That's
day.
awesome. Yeah.
We used to call ourselves Flint's favorite bathroom reader.
And that's the fun of it too. Like you find it in expected places.
Yeah.
Now, one of my favorite things so far was people using the plushie prototype that I took along to cons
Sure.
and putting their own plushie on top
Ah,
and riding them.
okay.
Like they were riding a Pegasus or something. It was just the best.
Cool.
That kind of interaction
Nice.
is just awesome. Okay.
Yep.
So
I
what
don't
have
normally
you
work
been reading
with
lately?
markers, so
Sorry?
I'm just messing around. I was saying I don't normally work in markers. I'm just messing around, but I'm getting a rock with it.
Yeah, it's looking great, man.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a few more minutes
Just having
before I gotta
fun.
head out. That's what's supposed to be the
Yep.
point of it. Maybe we'll do some themed shows at some point as well. We'll see. But
I'm sure if anybody in the chat has requests, for certain themes or things they want to see, they can let you know.
oh, totally.
Yeah.
You can pretty much find everything to reach me on my link tree, which is in my name. If you're like, hey, I would like to see you guys draw this for once. Can't promise we will do it, because it's also kind of a work stream, because this really just made me go and put everything else aside that I'm working on Well, non-art related because art is like 10% of my job at this point. Um, and be like, okay, now it's time to do this. So yeah, if I have to get work done a lot from Cora like today, maybe not, but we can always catch up and see what people come up with. I do love doing some fan art once in a while. Hey Joe.
Yeah,
Doing good.
I didn't be that kind of show, so I, I could have been working on my project, but it's fine.
Yeah, no,
Just figure
that's why I told you like, yeah, feel free to do anything. Just keep the NDA stuff off of the off of the live stream. But yeah, it's just working, getting
yeah,
things done. The intro doesn't look the part, but like that's pretty much what we do. We're working people.
Yes.
The last one I did was Ripley from Alien. I
yeah.
haven't finished yet, but hopefully I'll finish soon, because sometimes I have a couple of drawings that I haven't finished for a couple of years. So this might be one of them or not. Let's hope that's not right. Yeah, but this was the last one. I love to do movies, especially movies. Not as
Yeah,
much
I
comic book
normally don't do.
characters.
I normally don't do fan art. It just really isn't my thing, but it does make for a nice challenge, especially the more cartoony characters. Um, and you learn a lot from it. It's just, yeah, I normally don't have the time to.
I've done a few cartooning instructionals because like I said, I taught cartooning after school for a while, and it's so much fun, especially when you see that light go off in a kid's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That when he realizes how easy it is, circle upon circle, line upon line, suddenly you've got a cartoon character. So I did a couple of instructional videos over on YouTube. I think it's on the Aero Comics 4.0 site or channel. If anybody wants to go over there and take a look at them, it's a lot of fun. I think my most visited one now is of Hot Stuff from the old Harvey comics, the Little Devil character
Cool.
that you see everybody does tattoos for nowadays.
I don't think I know that character. I'll have to look that up. That sounds really cool.
Oh, you probably do. You just don't realize it because it was really a staple. It's pretty much the character, the little devil character that you see everybody gets tattoos of nowadays. Let me see if I can find it here and not pull up a not safe for work picture. Anyway,
Well, your screen isn't shared right now, so you should be safe.
It's all good then. I've got a couple of covers I know in here, so I just have to find them. I have one on my Sunday Funnies background. I always put a Hot Stuff back there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I do think I've seen that one come around.
He's the little red devil dude. Oh, here's Sunday Funnies. Let's see if that's on there.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't have it. Well, nope, that's Kirby. Nope. Darn. Where'd it go?
I'm gonna put down a
Spare
few
pirates.
more lines, but
See.
I have to start heading out, I'm afraid.
Yep. There's one.
Oh, that dude. Yeah. Okay. Right.
There's Hot Stuff.
Yeah, I'll add it to the stream so people will know what we're talking about. Yeah, this little dude. Wasn't he an inspiration for Ugly Kid Joe, their mascot?
More than likely.
Yeah.
The only place you see him now are on tattoos. I think American Mythology Company had the rights to the Harvey characters for a little while, but I don't think they did much of Hot Stuff. I know
Oh.
Dark Horse did a collection many years back of some of the real early stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Harvey is an amazing company. Just about all of the characters that they've done are so un-PC that you'd never see them around now.
That's awesome.
Little Lotta, who is in a large girl who was, everybody was shaming her for her size, and she always ended up using it for her advantage. Little Dot, who had a mental obsession over dots, any kind of dots.
Oh
To
boy.
collect dots. Yeah. Richie Rich, who's the richest kid around, used to buy all the stuff. One of the big, we would call him a 1%er nowadays and resent him.
Mhm.
And Casper, who is an amazing character, the friendly ghost, who tried to
Yes.
go out and make friends. If you see any of the early cartoons, they're just like the
Yeah,
comics.
I
He goes out
remember
and tries to make friends. They all freak because he's a ghost. So he gets so depressed he tries to go out and kill him. He tries to go out and kill himself again.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've seen some of those come by. They're bloody hilarious.
Just crazy stuff. Yeah.
All right. I have to start hopping over to Red Valkyrie. I am really sorry. Randy, we got 10 people watching, so if you just want to keep going for a little while with MarV and Peter, feel free to.
Sure.
But yeah, I gotta hop over, sadly.
And if anybody else wants to join in on Sketchy, just let me know. Send me a note over on Facebook. I'll send you a link. We all could sketch together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we try to keep to 2 guests, scheduled, and that's get to know those a little better. But we've had an hour, so we've been talking and getting things done. So yeah, feel free to make it an open invite. Just send Randy a letter, a quick message, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. And then I will actually be able to keep going for a little longer as well. So I'm really sorry, guys. This was completely my fault.
No worries, man.
Good luck over on Red
problem.
Valkyrie's site. So.
Good luck, man.
Take it
Good luck
easy,
over there,
guys.
man. Yep.
Yeah,
You
bye,
too.
man.
See you next week.
Okay.
Take care.
Yeah, we can
All
go
right.
through the chat a little bit. Salazar, man, I'm going to miss it. I'm headed to a conference in 30 minutes. I think you already said that. Raging 2's in the house, of course. Where's the birthday boy? Not sure who she's referring to there, or Allison is referring to there.
Peter.
Peter's your birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
my birthday day. Yeah.
Glenn said, good to see so many lefties. We rule the world.
That's
Yep.
right.
And he's drawing Hatch. We already covered that. Sarah's in the house. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Here's one for Sarah. Anyway. Sarah says, yeah, I bet it hasn't recovered yet. No fun. Yeah. Sarah says, so glad you're able to manage it only with meds now. I bet you're more glad than myself. It's all good, Sarah. There's not a lot of meds. I got a little bit of an inhaler for the gunk in my nose and a little blood thinner now that I'm probably going to be off of here in a couple of weeks. They wanted me to take that just in case it was a clotting problem. Luke woke up mid-surgery. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they had to redo a stomach tube they botched the first time. Yeah, that's not sweet. No. Luckily,
That's not good.
I've been incredibly lucky with my experience. I got out with a scar on my cheek. You can see it right there. And a scar on my stomach where the stomach tube went in. Other than that, I am pretty unscathed outside of losing the 100 pounds on the while I was on the respirator. And somebody's trying to get hold of me here. Oh, there's a Hatch. I love that. Ink this today. Show it if you can. I will try, Glenn. Let's see if I can pull that up. I can. Here we are. Let me see. Here's Glenn Fleming's working on his Hatch character. Give me a second here. Whoops. Wrong way. Jump back to there and add that to the screen. Here we are. Boom. There's Glenn Fleming's Hatch Phantom Zone.
Ooh.
They're looking good, Glenn. Looking good.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. It's nice.
Glenn says, yeah, I called Nita, and now I've just done a bad line on my lettering and need the whiteout fluid. Yikes. Uh-oh. That never happens to any of us. No, we never need that whiteout.
No.
We're so perfect. We just lay that line right down every time. Yeah. So glad it's easier, so much easier to digitally erase than to handle whiteout on a board. Though I do miss I do miss that a lot. And putting in stars with a toothbrush, that's always fun. Sarah says agreed.
Yeah,
That's
I tried
beyond
that,
disrespectful.
I do stars by hand.
Blocked all related sources for that. Very nice. So woke up mid-surgery. Geez, yeah. I assure you I've been called worse. I woke up in the middle of a colonoscopy once, but that's not a story we probably want to share here. So that wasn't friendly at all. Yeah, ask Luke about it. I leave family-friendly comics in waiting rooms when I have my appointments. Pretty cool. Yes, Sarah. Absolutely. And they're getting harder and harder to find anymore. I just saw a video by Perch who was complaining. Perch or the guy from Thinking Critical, I get them mixed up, was complaining that there aren't Marvel and DC right now, especially, aren't working on any type of family-friendly comics. So that's very sad because they're leaving like they have the last 20, 30 years. They leave that market wide open for anybody else to come in. So the kids have to learn to read right to left, up to down manga books in order to get entertained. That's really sad on their part for not trying to break into that market. Awesome feeling, right? It's amazing. Yep. He also pointed out that the biggest graphic novel that they've got that DC has out now is a one that Scholastic prints of Beast Boy. It's outselling all the other DC graphic novels in the bookstores, and nobody's heard of it. I mean, nobody in the business has heard of it. I'm sure all the kids have been reading it. They've been moving quite a few copies. Hey, from a desk of a small press publisher. How you doing, Joe? Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Joe.
Agent 2 says, hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Everybody says, hey, Joe.
Yep.
Hey, Glenn. Just keeping my word. Popping in to watch a bit. There you go. Yep. We'll get rid of, we'll drop out this layout here. Boom. And we'll show you what Peter's working on. There we are. Awesome Batman.
Thanks.
There we are.
Yeah, very
Fantastic.
cool, man. Very cool. Yeah, when it comes to
Nick.
Marvel and DC, I believe that the people that work there are not fans at all of the characters. That's why I believe they want to shut down their doors, because they just want to destroy the property and finish off everything that.
Well, you watch all these videos and you listen to some of them say that there are people up there at Marvel and DC that absolutely want to tear the company down and destroy the IPs and all of that. And you go, no, that's not at all what they're up there for. And then you start looking and you start understanding their viewpoint, what they've been saying. It gets kind of scary after a while. Nicholas says, sorry, I haven't chatted much, just listening, enjoying camaraderie.
Yeah.
While I sketch some big stompy robot ideas. There we are. Big stompy robots, never heard. Currently reading the DC Universe by Neil Gaiman. There we are.
Okay, Neil Gaiman.
That's great, Nick. There's a whole string of just incredible work out there. Don't get us wrong. We want to don't think that we're pounding on the Marvel and DC.
Nope.
You know, and it's just that we've been there to see all of the good stuff, and it's not matching the stuff that's currently out there.
Yeah.
And it gets a little distressing at times.
It's very sad.
There are still very talented artists that are working up there. Very talented writers, when they want to be, are up there working. It just gets distressing when you see subpar work coming out of these companies when it ought to be better. And them not reaching out for other audiences. It's always been a problem because it seems that once Diamond came in and was the exclusive distributor for these companies, they told them, well, this is your main demographic. It's 25 to 55-year-old, mostly white, mostly male. And that's what you need to aim for. And we've had that since the 80s, since Diamond became the top or the only dog distributing comic books. And it's been much to the detriment of the industry because it should be wide open for everybody. And there was a period there, especially before Image, that we were getting an incredible amount of creativity out of just about every part of the field. You know, there was some incredible stuff coming out during that period. And a lot of it that was out in black and white, you don't ever hear about anymore. You know, Fish Police, and a lot of the old Arrow stuff, Dead World, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I came across
Right.
a couple of them online. Yeah, that looks great. That looks great.
Sarah says, wow, Casper was suicidal while already being dead back in the day. That would have been something I'd collect. There is Dark Horse has a collection, run of Harvey properties that they collected in bound volumes. There's one for Casper that's pretty easily accessible. Number 2 is Richie Rich, and for some reason that's really hard to get. I think they reprinted a story they weren't supposed to, or they reprinted a story that is really non-PC nowadays or something, but there's some reason that volume is, last time I checked on eBay, was really expensive. The 3rd volume was was Hot Stuff, and the 4th volume was the women, Little Audrey, or Aubrey, I should say, Little Aubrey and Little Dot and Little Lotta, who was the big girl. They were always fun books to read.
I see. Sarah says she wants the Batman drawing. Message me on Facebook and we'll connect. You can have it.
There you go. Oh yeah, for the bell, making me jump through my ceiling. I found how much I missed that. Yeah, nice work. I'm still way back in the chat. Here we are. Thanks. You can see the mistake. Oh, I didn't catch it, Glenn. Sorry. Good buddy. Says I got Beast Boy too. There we go. Yep. Sarah knows what we're talking about. Have you been back to drawing, Randy? Yes, I have, Joe. I've been drawing here and there. Right now, I'm slaughtered with commercial work, though. I'm putting together I can swing my camera around here. If you look right past the comic rack, there's a vinyl cutter under that sheet. That's going to get a lot of work today. I have another system here that I'm pointing at the monitor for. That's back here. That old tower runs on Windows 98, believe it or not, because it runs my vinyl cutter and it ain't broke, so I don't fix it. So that old tower there got a lot of work yesterday as I was laying out 3 banners worth of work. I'll be cutting the vinyl for it today. I've got the banner material and be getting that to the client on Monday. Then I have a ton of t-shirt work that's behind me, probably up over my head. You can see a box of that back there in the corner. Never mind. Anyway, that's getting ready to be prepped up and printed as well. So.
Great.
Yeah, thankfully. I had a couple of clients that when I was down, I contacted them. They said, don't worry about it. We'll have a lot of work for you to do when you're back up on your feet, though. So that's what happened. If you're out there, hit that like button, hit that love button. If you haven't subscribed to the Ragin 2 Network yet, please do so as soon as possible. We have a lot of things planned, and believe it or not, there's a lot of things we can't do until that subscription number, the subscriber numbers are up. So please go in and subscribe to the Ragin 2 Network. We're going to zoom in here on MarV's work. He's going through an inking. Now, are you inking with vellum? That's what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm inking with Stellar marker liner markers.
Yeah, are you inking over vellum, or did you Did you gray tone that picture out somehow, or that?
Yes, I
page out?
wrote on this on my tablet, and I went to Staples kind of store, and I asked them to print this on a matte
Okay.
sheet. On a matte sheet, they said that
Good.
it was great for inking, and
Yeah.
yes, I believe it's a wonderful paper for that. Yeah. We're
So you
sticking to
can't.
my-
If you make a
Forgot
mistake
that.
there, you're going to be using a lot of whiteout on that. If there's a line
Yeah.
on that gray tone board that you no longer want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Understood. We all have.
Yeah.
Everybody has to figure out their way of getting the work done. You know, that's
Mhm.
part of the. That's part of doing the job. Everybody has a different system. That's why it's so interesting.
Yeah, I'm doing this just because this is for the campaign. When I'll launch Gabriel Reaper of Souls, I'll put some pages to sell because this is already done. So
Cool.
I'm inking it just to put there and hopefully to sell a couple of pages. But everything is done digitally. So
Finally, up to Sarah.
I'm
Sarah
printing
saying,
mine out in red.
Go ahead in red. Peter.
Yeah, you can tell.
Oh, there we are.
I could
let me see here.
print it out in
yeah.
red and where
Yeah.
I have the cover of the Sim Killer done. Let me see if I can put that off here.
Bristolian Dave in the house. Bristolian, happy to have you here. Genuine Comics. Hey, it's the Mike Show without Mike. Hello, Randy,
Welcome.
Peter, and MarV. Hello,
Hey,
Genuine Dave. Hope you're doing all right. There we are. Let me blow that up here. Boom.
Mhm.
There we go. Look at that.
yeah, this is
Nice.
the cover for the second book, and yeah, it was commissioned. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the
Yep.
green light to send this to the client, and yeah, that was fun to make, and hopefully I'll get more client work.
Sarah says I was out of comics for at least 20 years. So the ones that people are getting tired of, I'm getting on discount. There you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Only now getting into comics and characters people had their fill of. Yeah. I was on Facebook yesterday, and Walt Simonson was challenged by Joe Jusko to put up pieces of his artwork with no explanation. And he posted I would imagine it was a rejected Detective Comics cover for the last episode of Manhunter.
Wow.
That was just brilliantly done. But Batman goes right across that Detective Comics logo on top of the book, and I'm sure that's why that they didn't use that cover to print, because it was very difficult to see the words Detective Comics. But it was a brilliant piece of work, just gorgeous, with Manhunter running in front. That he probably did that back in the day, back when Manhunter was the rage and everybody was reading it, and it was winning all of those great awards that it won. If you haven't seen Manhunter, it's only been reprinted about a dozen times. So if you get a chance, Archie Goodwin and Walt Simonson, Manhunter, very classic stuff. I love hearing about these things. Sarah says, I remember Windows 98. Cool. Yeah. Well, like I said, my vinyl cutter runs on it, and it doesn't run on the later versions of Windows. I love my vinyl cutter, so I keep my old system there. But I also make sure I keep it offline too. So it's the first time I plug into it, it's going to get every type of spam and bug that you can imagine. Nicholas says, Sarah, you may really enjoy Strangers in Paradise if you want something different. Very good, very quality work. Steve, I want to say Steve Moore, but I'm probably wrong. Did that. I'd have to double check it. It's been a while. It's one of those, again, Strangers in Paradise, one of those properties that came and went, and you don't hear anything about it anymore. That had a level of quality to it. Love and
Strangers
Rockets.
in Paradise.
You might enjoy. Yeah.
That's Terry Moore, Strangers.
Terry Moore. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that reminds me, I need to do my daily sketch for accountability. There you go. Yep. Every day. Thanks for that suggestion. I'm playing catch up with the mounds of comics I got over the past several months. I spent no less than $200 a week at my local comic shop. Sarah, your local comic shop does love you.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Had to rein myself in. Yeah. But that's good. That's great that you're doing that and catching up through their backstock. Yeah, that could be. Could be 3 books.
That's $3, right?
Nicholas, especially the early Image published stories for Strangers in Paradise, that and Liberty Meadows. Liberty Meadows, Frank Cho. Also a great comic strip, great collections. Always fun, pretty evergreen material too.
Yeah.
Brandy on that, I remember that. That character, very distinctly, very good character.
Right.
A lot of fun. Just a great strip. And again, he stopped that because he kept getting too much editorial interference. Just like a lot of these guys, they start running and they have their editors pop in and say, no, and you need to change this or that. And it ends up putting a bad taste in their mouth, and then they end up getting out. But it's so hard to keep a syndicated strip anymore. Nicholas said Liberty Meadows was great. Yes, it was. Also love the Bone comics. Yep, Bone is also incredible. Not enough of that work out there. And that really, Bone really is the one that broke the Scholastic into publishing graphic novels and comic work. So, and now in the graphic novel section, they rule. So it's like the top 3 comic producers doing graphic novels. If you total all of their numbers up, they don't even come close to Scholastic's numbers that they're moving right now through the bookstores. But they're moving a lot of Dogman, a lot of Raina Telgemeier work, and a lot of other graphic novels made for young adults and children.
Raina does Smile and some other books, right?
Yep. She did the Babysitters Club initially, I believe. Did a graphic novel adaptations of that. So I was buying so much that the shop owner automatically brought out a box when I walked in. There you go. That's the way you train your retailer. Glenn Fleming says Randy Zim, ever the pro, gets invited on a show and then takes charge when the host does a runner. Yeah, I guess. Love Zim and the plethora of information. Thank you. You stay in the business long enough, Sarah. You'll get your knowledge up there. So as soon as I'm done with my COVID graphic novel, I'm going to get back on my history of comics graphic novel that I was in the middle of before this big deal come along, that I stopped working on everything that I was working on in order to resurrect Arrow Comics and start getting back into monthly production. Don't get me started. Anyway, Fellowship of the Indies right now over on Kickstarter, folks. Go over and take a look. The graphic novel on my bucket list of projects. It should be, Nicholas, and you should don't wait on that bucket list. Make one and fulfill it. I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of things that I didn't have done. I think that's part of the reason why I'm back. Tell you the truth. Still going to do that T-shirt that says I'm not done yet. Hail dudes, what you doodling? Doodling stuff. Aria Blackness, doodling stuff.
Yes.
MarV's working on Sin Killer, going through and doing inks, and Peter is working on another drawing as we speak.
Yeah.
I was just running through the chat.
Did you know that Wesley Snipes made a comic?
Yeah, well, there was.
I saw that.
It's fashionable. It's fashionable now for people to come in and do a graphic novel or a comic every once. There's been a lot of stars that have done that. So it piques their interest. You see, they start being characters, you know. And what Jillian? Jillian's written stuff. The girl who was Nebula on and was on Doctor Who. She's written comics. There was a girl from Buffy that became quite a big writer for a while in comics and prose novels, if I'm not mistaken. That literally found the genre because she got the gig. You know, there's this art form is so fantastic. Jamie Lee Curtis has a graphic novel out.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
She was on Good Morning America, of all places. They're like, Jamie Lee, how you doing? She goes, I want to talk about my graphic novel. It's like, oh, that's cool. I'm not sure who's printing it. I think it's done by an outside publisher, but it sounded real good. It was a superhero mutant type character, female character. Well, look at Keanu Reeves in Berserk, you know. I'm sure he's had some end of on the creative end on that.
You know, I'm sure they're all struggling and they need to make that, you know, good comic book money.
Oh yeah, exactly. Haha. Yeah. But there's such a level of expression available in this business, especially in the independent and the alternative markets like that, where you can actually say things and do things that you can't do elsewhere or do on the budget that you can do with a comic. I mean, with a comic, at most you're paying a writer, a letterist, and a colorist, you know, or an artist. You're paying for the other jobs that you can't do or can't do professionally enough, and you want to have a professional look. But you can say anything, you know. You can make your big writing mistakes if you have to and learn from them. It's always good. That's what comics are for, especially the alternatives, is to get out there and say things. So definitely, you've got everybody's got a graphic novel in them. They just got to figure out how to get it done.
A little bit of
Nicholas says nerve damage greatly affects my ability to draw for some time. So I'm trying to build it back up. Yep. It's a slow build.
Yeah, I know.
But you can do it. Just keep at it. Yep.
Yeah, that happened to me a few years ago.
Nicholas Talkbert. Oh, it's from Nita. Thug Luke is life. Yes. Sarah says, I've been getting the 80-year anniversary books about various characters. A lot of good info from their origins all the way to the present day. The only thing about that, Sarah, to keep in mind is that you're getting the character's history from the perspective of the people that make money off of that character. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of bits and pieces about that character that they find unprofitable. Let's put it nicely, and that you're not going to get the whole story. So especially on a character like Wonder Woman, if you want to go back into her past and her actual origins, there's a phenomenal book available on Amazon called The Secret Origin of Wonder Woman that is very eye-opening. And it might even change your attitude about the character once you read it.
Bondage.
Whale, the guy who created it, was a psychology major, taught psychology in colleges until they found out how much of a deviant he was. And he ended up having to go from college to college to college until he got, and until he was found out. He'd teach psychology there until they found him doing something, shall we say, untoward, or even by today's standards, we would consider to be deviant behavior. And then he would move on to the next college. And when he came to create Wonder Woman, he came up to MC Gaines's office and told him that he needed that national periodicals needed a female lead. And then went through and negotiated on the fact that he had a lot of accreditation, and he was also had a bit of fame at that point because he was the creator or co-creator of the lie detector, depending upon whose story you want to take on. and he was touring at the time with the lie detector, trying to get police departments to pick it up because it had proved to be a valuable tool. And with that fame and the fact that they were looking for a female lead anyway, they let him create Wonder Woman, and then they let him write his own deal. So he got about the best sweetheart deal in comics that there'll ever be. And he wrote Wonder Woman only for the first 2 years, and he got to choose the artist on it and everything in order to do it. But those early Wonder Women, whew, pretty crazy, to put it nicely. Very interesting things. But that's where a lot of the modern you get a lot of the modern opinions that comics have always been political and comics have always been propaganda. That's part of where that comes from. Is that in the Second World War, when they were very, very much propaganda material. There are too many encyclopedia and history of Wonder Woman where most talk either about the stories or the creators / social climate. I'm sure you meant to say of the times. Yes. Yeah. Well, he snuck a lot of that in. He knew what he was doing when he did it. That was the thing. And it makes comics history a very, very interesting subject because I've got a theory that he literally changed the attitude of a lot of people working up at the offices at the time because they figured out what he was doing and they realized the power of comics. And but that art form in general is powerful because you're expressing yourself and you're able to get your point across to people.
Yeah.
And then they're left to define the majority of it on their own terms and context. So sometimes it gets warped, sometimes it doesn't. And there's some pretty interesting directions when in my mind, the character starts out being just a little off kilter because that's the way the writer wanted to do it. It's a very interesting story about Wonder Woman, the impact on national periodicals, the company. MC ends up selling his stock very shortly after the World War is over. He's rich, from selling his share of national periodicals, and gets into a boating accident. Well, before he gets into a boating accident, he starts educational comics and does picture stories from the Bible, which is a graphic adaptation of the Bible, Old and New Testament. And it became the most reprinted comic in history until 1977, when Marvel did the Star Wars A New Hope and Howard Chaykin's adaptation of that. And then Marvel took that and reprinted in every possible form as much as they possibly could and made a ton of money, literally saved the company from bankruptcy. But picture stories from the Bible goes to all of the Christian bookstores, and you never see a copy of it around anywhere. It had multiple reprintings. And then MC dies in a boating accident, and his entire fortune goes to his son, Bill. And Bill starts entertaining comics, or there was entertaining comics before that, but Bill continues entertaining comics and starts doing comics that he wants to read. So you end up with all of these great EC titles that weren't necessarily meant for kids, like shock suspense stories and weird science fantasy, and then Tales from the Crypt and Haunt of Fear and all of this. Very interesting time for comics. And then the Wortham writes Seduction of the Innocent, because he takes some of these examples in comics and says, oh, look, they're bending your little kids' minds. And that adds to a bunch of anti-comics fervor that was already running at the time, that was piled on top of Cold War paranoia, where, everything was evil communist propaganda and in a lot of people's minds. And they did a lot of comic burnings back then. That's why your Golden Age books are worth so much more money now. Anybody see that Heritage auction? They had the that they did a couple days ago. They had it on Facebook. They auctioned off 9.4 Captain America #1. Luckily, it was slabbed, and judged at a 9.4. That's a book you'd never want to open at that grade or have to try to break into at that grade. Yeah. What's 3.1, 3.2 million, something like that. Crazy amount.
What's the point of having a book and not be able to read it?
Well, you get you buy a reprint volume or an omnibus that has the issue in it, but in the meantime, you've got a Captain America 1 that's a 9.4. Holy crap. That is rare. That might be the highest grade on that book. I am not sure. I haven't looked at the CGC site for it, but it did go for a lot of money. It was from a pristine collection out of San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody's saying good morning and what's up still. Joe says Moulton's work was historic, using broken cork English for Pullman workers in Wonder Woman, every women's lib with the college students via Etta Candy stories, the take on Greek history. Yeah, there was a lot to be said about Wonder Woman. Literally started the feminist movement, and Moulton knew what he was doing. And there wasn't any question on that he was knew he was molding young girls' minds. Fleming says, so Jack Kirby saved Marvel twice. Fourth world equals Star Wars equals money. Could be. Yeah, Glenn. There's a lot of fourth world in Star Wars. There's a lot of Dune also in Star Wars. It came from a lot of places in Lucas's mind, all because he couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon. Or you know, he would have probably done a Flash Gordon movie and it probably would have bombed. But the Flash Gordon movie with Sam Jones in it, still classic. In probably all the wrong ways, but it's still great. A lot of Alex Raymond designs in that. That was phenomenal. Nice to see. I was a big Flash Gordon fan when that came out. I was so excited to see that movie, and it's like Batman all over again. Adam West Batman. Go, Flash, go. Yeah. Okay. And bad acting. But the designs were awesome. I got that videotape when it came out with my first marriage, and was watching it quite a bit. Too much, actually, because the daughter ended up picking up when Prince Baron grabs Princess Aura and calls her a lying bitch. She started going around the house going, lying bitch, lying bitch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Gotta watch what you play in front of your kids, folks. Sometimes it's the craziest stuff that they pick up on. It's always the wrong stuff they pick up on, too. The original Bible had porn in the margins. A bit of knowledge is dangerous to relate of many. Well, these were family-friendly picture stories from the Bible, Sarah. It was all good. Hey, Nita. Like Peter and Marv, I am drawing. Good, great. Good to see you in the house, Grant. Thank you. Nice. Ragin. I love the 80s Flash Gordon movie. Yeah. Nicholas, it's got a lot of charm. Like I said, there's some great Alex Raymond designs, a lot of Alex Raymond flavor there, but also a lot of really bad acting. I mean, though granted, was it that played Ming did a marvelous job, phenomenal job.
Yes.
Just great. He's great. Man, Brian Blessed was glorious. That's the only way to describe him in that movie. Too. That's amazing. Yeah. Hysterical.
And they never did the sequel. That was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, but sometimes you shouldn't make sequels. There's a lot that they could do with Flash Gordon. You might see somebody bring it back here eventually, but the time for Flash Gordon is almost slipping away, just like John Carter. John Carter was such a great movie and never got the marketing it deserved.
Yeah, really.
It was.
Max von Sydow. Yes, thanks, Grant. Absolutely. There's not a bad Max von Sydow movie out there, though. That's the thing. He's always great, just like Vincent Price. He's always worth watching, no matter how bad the movie is. When I was lying on my back, I got to see a double feature on Turner Classic Movies of The House of Wax and The Fly, back to back. And I hadn't seen either one of them movies in decades. It was a joy to watch them again. Just great stuff.
I worked on a Vincent Price comic at some point.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Moore lives up around my area. I know he's inked a lot of Elvira covers and has done a couple of Elvira meets Vincent Price covers.
Cool.
Really great stuff. Yeah. We're getting sketchy on a Saturday, folks. Come on in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here.
Get sketchy.
We have MarV working on the Sin Killer there. Your normal host, Mike Jimmy, didn't realize he was double booked, and he actually had to leave the show that he hosts in order to go over to Red Valkyrie's channel for an art auction. That was very important. So we also have Peter Palmiotti in the house.
Yeah.
Sketching away.
Yeah.
I was working on something earlier, and then I was strolling through the chat. Grant Lankard says any actor whose credits include Ingmar Bergman, The Exorcist, and Star Wars is pretty awesome. Yes, indeed. Very much so. Vincent Price was the definition of a villain in his roles and a gentleman as an actor. Absolutely. Yep. Nicholas. Yeah. Absolutely. Sarah says, thanks for the show. I love learning. Well, I just love talking. So here we are. I'll be back tomorrow morning for Sunday Funnies. If I can find a few people on there to talk at, we'll find that too. I think might be able to talk Glenn Fleming back in again. So we'll see who else we can gather on a Sunday morning. That's Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. on the Ragin 2 network. We'll be back next Saturday here at Sketchy Saturdays again. Mike Jimmy will be hosting, though. I don't know if I'll be around, but happy to do this now. And we'll still be here for a few more minutes. So if you have another question in the chat or anything else that you want to say, chat's open. So feel free. And if you get a chance, hit that like button, hit that love button. Well, hit the love button on your computer. You can wait until after the show to hit. Anyway, never mind.
Randy, you should share out your crowdfunder, your book.
I can pull that up.
Yeah.
We actually have the long shots still over on Indiegogo. I think they extended that for another 30 days. 4,203
cool
people there. That's the 9 books over there for 25 plus shipping. There's a bunch of other tiers as well, including another tier that we're very serious about that hasn't been taken up on yet. The I'll hit my thing here. There we are. The executive experience tier. We try not to use the company's name involved because they weren't really involved after all. We found out they weren't part of that. The deal never existed. But for a $10,000 buy-in, we will take you on a tour. All of us will gather together in New York with you. We'll go to New Jersey. We will have a great Italian lunch. Then we will go sit in this corporation's parking lot for a while and promise you will never be able to get inside. So then we'll go have dinner at the great Texas Roadhouse down the street, let you ride the sawhorse there. And then the following day, we'll give you a tour of a comic shop in Brooklyn's basement where we spent the next day waiting for the deal to be finalized, a deal that never existed. So Anthony Figueroa's behind this campaign. We have 89 backers, $4,203, 840% of the goal. All of these books are already printed. They are ready to be shipped out to you. There's 9 different titles for $25, and these books are beautifully printed. It's the best thing to come out of this entire deal is we ended up with these books, and now we want to share them with you. And there's all sorts of different properties. All the properties aren't going away, just this deal never happened. So it's a great way to get some fantastic exposure to some great independent and alternative IPs that you'll be reading more about as time goes on. In fact, for example, Luke Stone's Hybrids is already up to issue 8. and he's still doing a lot of crowdfunding campaigns for that. The Oswald Chronicles #1 is here, the first Oswald Chronicle story, but in this book, it's in color. And the previous crowdfunding campaigns have been in black and white. And believe me, it's beautiful color. It's a great story of a magical mouse. Only Death Can Save Us, the first part of the first novel of that is by Russ Leach. Is there. God's Hand, which is a supernatural detective story by Anthony Figueroa and Mark DeJesu. You need to look at that. Great work. Again, Hybrids. It's a great superhero story, much in the line of Claremont's X-Men. Great beginning there. The Shield of the Interceptor is a story of an Englishman who finds the Shield of Avalon and decides to use it, which is King Arthur's shield, and decides to use it for good, becomes a superhero. We have Revolt, which is an anthology title that has a lot of great short stories in it in black and white, some beautiful line work, some fantastic gray tones. Oswald Chronicles, I mentioned before. Wellkeeper, also in black and white, but it really doesn't need color. By the great D. Fish, it's a fantastic fantasy tale. And that we have the first chapter of that here, and that particular story runs 12 issues, already done. Tall Tales, or So I Thought, from Daphne Lage and J.D. Calderon, is a anthropomorphic sword. I believe it's a sword and sorcery book. So it's kind of a combination of the realm and Tales from the Aniverse, if you're familiar with the mid-'80s Arrow comics. Hero Bot Zero by myself. That's a story of a 3-foot-tall giant robot fighting big monsters in his city with the arsenal that's incorporated into his body. But the robot has a very bad attitude and only wants to fight monsters while he's on the clock or getting time and a half for hazard pay. There's all sorts of metal bookmarks available in this campaign, and lots of different tiers. We're even offering to bind the books together into a bound volume at a beautiful bound volume, by the way, at a great tier as well. There are sketch cards. There are art prints also available. That's the long shots over on Indiegogo. We just extended it for another 30 days. It has 28 days left to go. And then also, if you don't want to do Indiegogo or you want to jump over to Kickstarter, if Kickstarter is your platform, over on Kickstarter, there is the Fellowship of the Indies, which offers those books again. Let's see here. You can't see my screen. It's still on long shots. That's good. Let me stop that screen and start another one here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello.
Marv is in charge now. How you doing?
Oh man. Oh, so tired. Man. I was used to do some to do traditional back in the day, but after I got the tablet, I forgot how goddamn hard it is to make it. So yeah, almost 2 hours to draw a panel. That's man. Oh.
Yeah, traditional. It's a lot of work, you know. But
yeah. Why? 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 But hey, yeah. I might do this for a couple of shows, but
right.
yeah, man. Randy's back. can see.
There you go.
Oh, that was a big jump from since yesterday, man. That's awesome. Can hear you. We can hear you, Randy.
That was because I had my mic muted. Don't know how that.
Okay.
Anyway,
There you go.
yes, Fellowship of the Indies, $316, 9 backers, just started. We have 28 days to go. We have a great video for that we can run.
Oh yeah.
Let me pop that out full screen and we shall run that video. Hello, comic book readers and collectors. My name is Randy Zimmerman, and I'm here to introduce you to the Fellowship of the Indies. The Fellowship is a group of creators that came together for a promising business deal that fell through. But don't worry, because what came from the deal were 9 spectacular comics from diverse genres and creators. Within the group, we have God's Hand, HeroBot Zero, Hybrid Sons of Gods, Only Death Can Save Us, the Oswald Chronicles, Revolt, the Sequential Art Showcase, The Shield of the Interceptor, Tall Tales, or So I Thought, and The Well Keeper. All 9 books are printed and ready to go, along with metal bookmarks, retailer levels, and even month 2 books, which are being specially made for a short period. Just know that by pledging, you'll be getting 9 great comics, 32 pages a book, for the awesome price of $25 plus shipping. That's over 250 pages of incredible indie comics. So secure your copies today. And again, all of these properties are not going away. Just the deal that they were involved with never existed. So we have copies available and able to sell. If you're a retailer out there and you're interested in a retailer discount, definitely get a hold of myself, Anthony Figueroa, JD Calderon, and really any of the creators that are involved in this deal, and we will do our best to accommodate you as soon as we fulfill these campaigns, which should be by mid-June. Everything is already in-house and ready to go. So that's the Fellowship of the Indies over on Kickstarter, or the Long Shots over on Indiegogo. Get yours today. How's that for a promo? Let's not forget the other shows here on Ragin 2, the Ragin 2 network. There's Dispatches from Outside the Box on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Ego Works, Daphne Lage Art talks and tries to draw live on Wednesday at 4 p.m. There's the Zimcast at Wednesday at 9 p.m. where we get together and talk media and pop culture with a little bit of opinion. Well, maybe a lot of opinion. Nerd Bacon, which is a safe for work show talking about comics again and popular culture, Thursdays at 9 a.m. run by Luke Stone. Then Sunday Funnies, it's Sunday at 9 a.m. Where we talk about the more lighthearted and fun side of comics. We try to stay whimsical and passionate about this art form that we love. And JD Calderon's Talking Comics on a Sunday is on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. All of these times are Eastern Standard Times, so adjust your clocks accordingly. And we hope that you can join us. Plus, now we have Sketchy Saturdays here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Mike, Jimmy, and MarV.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're very glad that you are here with us today. You get a chance and if you have a campaign or if you have anything that you need to mail, make sure you go over to Gemini Comic Supply and get those Gemini mailers. It's really the safest way for you to keep those comics packed up for shipping so that they get there in safe condition. Postman really has to go out of their way to hurt that book when it's in the Gemini mailer. And if you use the coupon code RAGIN2, RAGIN, and the number 2 on your way out the door, they will cut 5% off of your order. So again, get yours today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Peter's still sketching away. There we are.
Yeah. So it's Joker to go with the Batman. And I did
There we
Arrow.
go.
Okay, nice.
Cool. Sweet. MarV is inking Sin Killer.
Yeah. Right now I'm drawing Gabriel, the Demon Raven.
Ah,
Yeah, great character.
I was drawing earlier. If you're just getting here, make sure you go back and watch the earlier shows, earlier part of the show with Mike Jimmy. We appreciate everybody coming in whenever you come in. Grant Leichard has to run some errands. We're archived over at the Ragin 2 network, so you'll be able to watch at your leisure.
Yeah.
Plus, you can speed up the sound, or you can speed up the playback. So I listen to a lot of podcasts at 1.5 speed, especially the people that talk slow. Anyway. Everybody says take care to Grant. Ragin 2 says a new show being announced next week. Another new show. Oh, great.
Ooh, exciting.
Oh
We're
boy.
just
Another
going to
one.
load them up.
That's
Load 'em
great.
up.
We have to put a big banner on this one.
Glenn's smiling. That must mean he'll be on tomorrow morning. Oh, wow. He's going to be epic. Okay. It's going to be epic.
Who's
This
gonna
Wednesday
be-
on the Zimcast, I will have my guest will be Rich Ayala. And if you haven't seen his book, that's available over on Indiegogo right now. It's called Roach Balls. And it is,
Roach Balls,
I would say, yeah, like a cross between Garbage Pail Kids and Liquid Television. If you know either of those references, you're going to love Roach Balls. It's one of those books that you hear about or that you stumble across on podcasts like our own, that when you look at it, you go, oh, that's goofy enough. I got to buy in, you know. That's crazy enough. Not a lot of artists out there, not a lot of folks doing underground type material. You know, the sketchy, the gritty stuff, and the personal material as well. We had Christy Shin on last Wednesday, who does a series called Demon Bitch. That's about a demon from the 13th level of hell. It's little electrical tape pasties over her breasts, and just it's very angry demon characters. Very great strip. She's able to get a lot of her emotions and energy out through her comics. It's great therapy. Like I said, not enough people doing that underground kind of work. You see Roach Balls is the same kind of thing. Where he's saying a lot. It's kind of a superhero type roach that lives on Cat Shit Island. So yeah, he's from New York. Yeah, New Jersey. He's from New Jersey. He also has a great video out that will probably run on Wednesday about an exterminator. Catch it, and it's Catch It, CATCHIT, exterminators. It's a great little fun commercial for his book. We have the links up in the chat. Thank you, Nita, for that. Sarah is wondering if the warehouse was a crazy sleight of hand. I don't understand why I saw all that. Sorry for bringing it up. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by warehouse, but all of the comics are now safe in our hands. We have full possession of the storage facility that they're in. They're just waiting to be shipped out into yours. We plan on having a get together in mid-June with a group of us publishers. Everybody that can make it will be in there, and we will be shipping those books out personally to the fulfiller, or to fulfill both of those campaigns at once. Sarah says Garbage Pail Kids were awesome. Yes, they were. They have a couple of books out on that collect those cards. That and Wacky Packages, if you remember those. Those were always fun.
Yep.
Get a bunch of cards together with a stick of unedible bubble gum at your local convenience store for like $1. Good times. You don't see those around anymore. I just had a whole set of Garbage Pail Kids go up on Pawn Stars. They kicked out a video for that. It's amazing the value on those cards anymore. Wacky packages were great. Matt 6 Bar says, yes, there's a couple of volumes of wacky package collections out there. If you look for them on Amazon, you'll find them there. Chalk gum, absolutely. It's more like a board. And it had been around for ages, so they probably stockpiled all of that gum over at Topps for years and just stuck one stick into every one just so it was all bubblegum cards, you know. And everybody bought it for the cards. Nobody bought it for the gum. Never knew anybody to really be able to eat it without spitting it right back out anyway. Some great stuff. There's a set of old style 60s Marvel stickers that were out at one point that Stan Lee had gone through and put additional word balloons on that were funny. That was also very collectible back when I was a kid. A lot of great stuff. Still the same gum though. Yeah. And we're wrapping up here. So the hands are quickly going towards the top of the hour. So MarV, let folks know how they can find you.
Cool. Well, you can find me every Saturday from now on here on Ragin 2 Broadcast Network. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, come and subscribe and hang out with us for a little while. And if you want to be on the show, just contact me or Mike, and we can figure it out how to put you in the show and have fun with us.
Sarah says storage unit, not warehouse. Derp. Okay. Okay, Marv, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. What did you finish up saying?
I just want to say thank you to everybody, and you and Peter for being here on this first show, and for Nita for making this happen.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, Peter, always happy to have you on. So anytime you want to come on any of our shows,
thanks
just
for having me.
Yeah. And you can just do what you're doing now if you want. Just be part of the conversation, and because I know you've got a lot of stories. You've been around for decades, so you've probably got some tales to tell as well. And I'm sure we'd all love to hear them. So,
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Peter, let folks know where they can find you.
You can find me all over the place, mostly Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Streaming later today at 2 for my birthday art stream. I'll probably be actually doing some work then. So you can come check me out. Otherwise, I'm just on other people's stream like today.
Absolutely. Cool.
It's
and
always
happy birthday, by the way. Yeah. Hope you have a great one.
Thank you.
Make it a good one.
Thanks.
And I've been your fill-in host, I guess, Randy Zimmerman. I started out as a guest, but now I've become the host. Mike Jimmy will be the regular host from now on, along with MarV, on your Sketchy Saturday shows, and they'll happily be back here again next Saturday. In the meantime, you can catch me tomorrow morning on the Sunday Funnies with Glenn Fleming and maybe other people if we can get them up enough. Scott Rosema, I'm talking to you. You keep wanting to come on the show, and you never seem to make it. Every time I send you a link. So if you hear this today, I'm sending you another one tomorrow morning. We hope you can make it. Hope everybody's doing well. There it is, Sketchy Saturday. And we're going to go up however way we came in. I don't know how that...